back to sports today. So this is promising to become quite the developing story as things stand. But you'd remember that yesterday, if you are tuned into our platform, Sports Today, Sports Talk, wherever it may be, we had an exclusive interview with PCB chairman Najam Sethi, in which he actually made some not so flattering comments on, of course, the ACC and ACC president Jay Shah, who also happens to be the BCCI board secretary. Now, you remember yesterday that Mr. Jay Shah had released the schedule for the ACC's cricket calendars for 2023 and 24. And in that, like what Najam Sethi's claim was that these claims or this entire schedule was made unilaterally and not in a bilateral or multilateral fashion. And therefore, we are very, very hurt and it shouldn't have happened. He said a lot of things. You can check out the interview on
Also,
Sports
one of the
Today.
things, of course, as Shane said, you should go out, go to our platforms and check out the interview. But one of the key things also that from his standpoint, he said was that given that Pakistan have the hosting rights for this year's Asiacup, beg your pardon,
Correct.
they should have been taken in loop. Now, there lies the catch there because what the ACC in its release, and Shane will be reading
I'll
out
read it
that release very shortly. What the ACC in its release has said is that due process was followed and the development committee, which takes all these decisions as far as scheduling is concerned and all everything around scheduling is concerned, that was taken into loop. But Pakistan are not part of the development committee. Over to you, Shane, if you could read out to our family members what the release exactly says.
Right. So the release, which has just been posted on social media, is titled "The Asian Cricket Council's Response to PCB Chairman's Social Media Comments." He means us. The Asian Cricket Council on Thursday announced the ACC calendar 2023-24 and the pathway structure. It has come to our knowledge that PCB Chairman Mr. Najam Sethi has made a comment on the ACC president unilaterally taking the decision on finalizing the calendar and announcing the same. The ACC wants to clarify that it has followed established due process. The calendar was approved by its Development Committee and Finance and Marketing Committee in a meeting held on December 13, 2022. The calendar was then communicated to all the participating members individually, including, and it's highlighted, the Pakistan Cricket Board or the PCB via an email dated December 22nd, 2022. While responses were received from certain member boards, no comments or suggested modifications were received from the PCB. In the view of the above, Mr. Sethi's comments on a social media platform are baseless and are vehemently denied by the ACC, signed the Asian Cricket Council. So, in case, as I said, the comments that we had said were made, and to be fair, if you check out that interview, Vikrant asked him very clearly that do you think it's something that got lost in, transition, rather, because again, you'd remember the PCB very recently underwent a change in, power. Najam Sethi was brought back, Ramiz Raja was sacked, and so he was asked very clearly that do you think that this is one of those things that kind of got lost in oversight, and he said, no. We asked the CEO of the PCB, and there was no communication
The
received.
CEO hasn't changed, I believe.
No, CEO is still the same.
CEO is still the same, but regardless, Pakistan and the PCB chief, present PCB chief, claiming that he wasn't taken in loop or was expecting to be taken in loop, but the BCCI secretary Jay Shah, who's also the ACC president, in his capacity as the president of the ACC, followed the norm, followed the protocol. So the protocol was followed to the T's. There was no there's no breaking the protocol, and the ACC acted in a way that it has acted over all these years, and so no compromises over there as far as the protocol goes. But the PCB chief feeling that Pakistan, because they're the host, they should have been taken in loop.
And the ACC in response have said that, look, we did keep you in loop. They've even mentioned very clearly when it is that the decisions were taken and then communicated to all of the members. And they said very clearly that, look, we sent an email to every one of our board members, including the PCB, but received no response from them whatsoever.
Also, Pakistan, Shane, maybe would have had a case had the ACC chief, beg your pardon, not taken the development committee in loop. But
Correct.
it's been made very clear that the development committee of the ACC was taken in due loop, as has always been the case. So that's why it's baseless for the PCB chief to be expecting that there to be a special call made to him or for a special communication or a communique to be sent to him. That's not ever happened, and that's not the protocol, to be
Yeah,
very
the
clear
protocol
about
is
it.
to involve everyone, and to be fair, the ACC are saying very clearly that they did. And in fact, to answer a question that is coming from Akash Bharadwaj, he's saying, "Can you tell us if the Asia Cup will happen in UAE? Is it true or not?" Akash should be told right now, everything is up in the air.
In fact, you know, when you talk about the release that came from Jay Shah yesterday, when he put out the schedule, one thing with regards to the venue, which most of you would be wondering, the venue has still not been declared. Remember, India has made its stand very clear that
we
it
will
won't
not be touring
playing the
Pakistan.
Asia Cup in Pakistan, and the BCCI has said, yes, of course, we don't mind playing Pakistan at
But in a neutral venue.
but we will not be traveling to Pakistan. That's been made very clear. In fact, very recently, the foreign minister of the country as well said that these tournaments keep happening, but we have certain we have a certain stand against not visiting Pakistan, and we will not be visiting Pakistan. So that's been made very clear, both at the BCCI level, at the cricketing level, as well as the international level as well.
And also, it could be worth noting that, as PCB chairman Najam Sethi told us very clearly, that this could very well have a knock-on effect on Pakistan's participation in the ODI World Cup this year. Because, to be fair, it is in fact, something that they have also said, the PCB have also said that, look, when it comes to touring India or playing India, we have to listen to our government. And if their government says
in
that
fact,
don't
yes,
tour,
exactly. So it could be reciprocatory in many ways. Pakistan could also follow suit, but again, you're talking about the
ICC
Asia
tournament.
Cup, and you're comparing the Asia Cup to the World Cup, the 50-over World Cup, which, if you ask me, continues to be the all-important prize in world cricket.
Absolutely.
It'll be a hard stand for Pakistan to take, but we'll have to wait and watch how things pan out over the next 6 to 8 months. The Asia Cup scheduled to happen before the big World Cup,
and an
which,
ODI format, no less.
yes, so which of course India will be hosting in the second half of the year. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. But for now, those of you joining us at the moment, the ACC in a press release has very clearly said that the due protocol was followed. There was no inconsistency as far as putting out the schedule for Asian tournaments, especially the Asia Cup, is concerned. And all of the grouses, let's say, that the PCB chief has from Jay Shah in that exclusive chat that he had with our network yesterday, he said that he should have been taken in loop, but the ACC chief did follow the due protocol, and the development committee of the ACC was taken in loop before the schedule was sent out.
So the breaking news, as Harsha just said, is that the ACC has now vehemently denied any claims that Najam Sethi has made, saying we weren't kept in the loop, we should have been kept in the loop. They've said, look, you were kept in the loop, this is when you got the email, this is when the decision was taken, we got no response from you guys. And truth be told, this is a story that, if you ask me and Harshad, I think we'll both agree and say is just starting out. There's going to be a lot of developments, and if to keep track of all of those developments, you have to stay subscribed to us here at Sports Today. Thank you guys for joining us for this breaking news update. Don't forget, like, share, tap the bell icon, subscribe, leave us a comment, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And also don't forget, download the Sports Tech app. Bye-bye for now.